Welcome to the Navarre Jenkins Guide to Warmaster Blackhorn. This is how we did the fight with footage from our first kill. This is a two-phase fight. The first phase is all about ad control. It's important the ads are tanked properly and DPS is switching between priority targets. The second phase is about surviving and burning down the enemy as quickly as possible. For phase 1, one tank picks up the Twilight Elite Dreadblade. DPS assigned to the ground ads burn it down ASAP. The other tank should pick up the Twilight Elite Slayer. Ranged DPS should focus fire down one of the two drakes first when the NPCs harpoon them. The raid leader assigns this before the fight so all ranged know ahead of time which drake they're to focus down first. If necessary, put a raid marker out for a visual cue.
Sapper.
All DPS switches to the Twilight Sapper when he comes out. He will smoke bomb initially to reappear again about the middle of the deck. We had flares down hoping to make him visible as soon as possible. Be ready to lock him up or at least slow him down and kill him before he reaches the doorway. So the priority goes like this: Dreadblades, then Slayer for DPS assigned to them. One Drake and then the other for DPS assigned to them. All DPS need to switch to the Sapper when he's out. If the Drakes are down but ground ads are still up, all DPS should switch to the priority ground target. If a Slayer is up when the next pair of ground ads drop down, finish him off first and then prioritize the next Dreadblade. Rinse and repeat. Everyone should stack in the large purple swirl each time for Twilight Onslaught. When not stacked for Onslaught, ranged and healers are to be spread out among the four main squares of the deck. This is so they can get to the small purple swirls and soak them up. Do not go into one alone unless you're at or very close to full health, or use a damage reduction cooldown. Also note that the ground ads do a charge at random players. A ground effect shows where they will charge, but for melee up close, it may be hard to see under feet. These charges can and should be sidestepped as much as possible. If you stand and take it, you may die. Healers, be prepared for lots of raid healing in phase 1.
Sapper. Sapper in 4.
Sapper's out.
Phase 2 has ranged DPS priority burning the Drake. If this Drake stays up too long, the deck will be increasingly overtaken by purple death zones. Tanks should pick up Blackhorn and taunt swap before stacks of Devastate get too high and the tanks become hard to heal. We swapped at 2 to 3 stacks. Blackhorn will turn to random directions and do his Shockwave ability, which has a frontal cone effect. Range should stay about 12 yards to 15 yards from Blackhorn. Get too far away and it makes it hard to get out of the shockwave before it hits unless you have blink. Get too close and casters get silenced. So, ranged, for the love, stay spread out around Blackhorn at about 12 to 15 yards, and when you see the ground effect indicating where shockwave is going to hit, get out. Melee, It can be difficult from your angle sometimes to see if you're out of the shockwave zone, as it's very narrow close to Blackhorn and the ground effect may be covered by melee and tanks or other ground effects. So if necessary, go by noticing which direction Blackhorn faces when he goes to cast Shockwave and run through him to the other side. We did notice a bit of a glitch with that. There were several of us on different attempts who ran through and appeared to get through before Shockwave hit, but were still stunned by it. You can see that happening to me as a tank in this video. We aren't sure if this is due to lag between computer and server or what, but just beware, it can happen. Healers, be ready for tanks taking extra damage from Blackhorn as the fight goes on. The lower his health gets, the more damage he does. 1% increased damage per 1% health lost, to be exact. See the video description for a link to a written guide with all of the technical stuff about this fight. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
Don't forget about the light one.
Way to stick with it, guys.
Congrats, guys.
Nice work, guys.
Good work, guys.
Yeah, I blinked right into the blue. I got so annoyed by that.